Let's get in. All right, so we never go through the portal. The portal is slow, tedious, painful, stupid. All right? Blackboard.atc.edu. That's how we get in. Just doesn't make sense to torture yourself just to get to Blackboard. Okay, so we're doing great. Antoine, who disappeared, has not gotten in as well, so I already yelled at him earlier. This week's assignments include a quiz with a password, so you have to do that in the lab, and an evil quiz from the book. And I think 4 people have done it out of 34. So let's get on that, you know. Remember, the lab is open until what time today?
9.
9. Lab, 9 to 9. How much tomorrow? 9 to 9. Yep. So go in there. And then not till 9 to 3 on Friday. This is due at 3 on Friday. Not Friday, by 3 on Friday. 3:01 is too late. Week 1 folder will disappear magically at 3:01 thanks to the computer settings, okay? So at 3:01, too late. All right? I don't know what happens if you're in the middle of the quiz. I get the feeling it shuts you down because I find people halfway finishing a quiz sometimes. I think maybe that's what happened to them. So let's get that done. Remember, the Quiz Intro Lab is all about what's in the addendum, the syllabus, and what I covered, you know, in conversation with you on Monday. So if you want to review for that, if you're concerned about it, you want to reread those 2 things, the syllabus and the addendum, and you want to go back and listen to the beginning of that class. But don't freak out. It's not that big a deal. Okay. The quizzes from the book take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, depending on if you really paid attention to the chapter before you started doing the quiz, or if you're just hunting for answers in the book. You know what I mean? It can take longer when you're flipping the pages. But the quizzes are made by the textbook authors, so there is a sentence in the chapter that answers the question every time. You may not believe it, but it's really true. All right? Anton, where did you go? We were missing you already. All right. Let's wait for this one. There it is. Okay. All right. So that's this week. So let's get it done. Next week you'll have an assignment to do with a real web page. And so I'm going to go back in and start with the web page that we were working on Monday. Okay? Now, if you don't remember how we did all of this, you can do what? Watch the video again. Okay? Students want review, and I understand your need and desire for review, but I don't have time for that. We got to keep going. We've got material to cover. So if you see this again this morning, you go, man, I don't remember how we did any of that. Run to the video. Find the part of the video, you kind of semi-watch it in slow-mo till you get there and do it again, okay? Because we're going to keep building on what we know, all right? So let me go locate that. I stored my files in Documents 162, Spring 2018, and there it is sitting right there, okay? There's my little web page. Now, I'm working on it in Notepad, which is what we do for the first 4 weeks of the semester. If I double-click this isn't going to open in Notepad, it's going to open in what? Browser. In my case, you're right. Chrome is my browser that I've selected. So if I want to open in Notepad, I have 2 choices. I can open Notepad first and go locate this, or I can do what?
Right click.
Right click, my favorite technique. Right click, and off to the races we go. Open with Notepad. Okay? And there we are. If I did double click it, as we mentioned, I would see my page beautifully displayed in the browser. And there it is. And I've zoomed so it looks much bigger than it really is. It really is like that size. But you can't see it at all, so I always do. All right? And I mentioned that if you right-click on any page, you can see the source that contributes to it. This is exactly the same stuff we just wrote. No different. All right? Any broad questions about what we did to create the web page on Monday? All right, so we're ready to add more tags, because we're ready to add more content. And remember that when you add the content will be tagged to indicate what kind of content it is. All right? So I'm going to open up, I think I'll just type in Word today. I'll do some notes in Word as we talk. I need something to do notes in. All right, so this will be my notes little program here today. Okay? So, HTML tags mark content to indicate the purpose of which We call that semantic markup. So, for example, in our page right now, we have a P tag. It's for paragraph. So we're basically saying, this is a paragraph. Now you might say, no, that isn't a paragraph. Well, I agree. It really isn't technically a paragraph. But that's what we're trying to suggest there. Now, who cares? Because you guys are thinking, well, I don't really care. I don't care about the tags. I can see that. The screen readers care. If you're visually disabled, a screen reader reads to you the web pages. It's fascinating to watch. YouTube's got a lot of videos on it. And one of the things the screen reader tells you is what the content is based on the tag. So it'll say, this is a paragraph, this is a heading, this is a list, all right? And that's meaningful, and that's also part of the accessibility initiatives that the W3C has. So that's what we're going to do. So when you make a choice for a tag, you want to choose a tag. Where's the one? You want to choose a tag that's going to be semantically meaningful, all right? If it's really a heading, then choose one of the heading tags. If it's really a list of some sort, then choose one of the 3 types of list. If it's really the footer at the bottom of a page, then choose the footer tag. Okay? That's what we're going to do. That's our deal. All right? Big deal. Never select HTML tags because you like the way it looks. Never, never, never. Okay? So, you might say, well, I think I'd like it to be kind of big and bold. So I'm going to choose a heading tag because I happen to know that by default, the browser will make a heading big and bold. No, wrong. She's wrong. If it's really a paragraph and you want it big and bold, you can fix that later with CSS, but you will still use the paragraph tag. So we never select HTML tags because we like the way they look. We choose them because they indicate the purpose or the type, you could say, of the content. And that should be enough. All right? So, thus far we don't know a lot. Inside the body, we only know the paragraph tag, and we have this terrible thing that's not really a paragraph. So maybe we'll turn it into a paragraph. Hello world, how are you doing today? Paragraph is in caps is one or more sentences, right? You know what they say in a paragraph, English world? How are you today? Is this a stupid paragraph? Oh yeah. All right. And if I save that in my notepad, I don't need to reload it manually. I just click the little refresh button, and it varies where this is located by browsers, but it's right here in Chrome next to the address bar. Done. Okay? All right, let's move along. Learn more tags. I thought I was on the page. Could have sworn I was on the page. There we go. There's the page again. All right. Now, you have some tags up at the top. Document type, HTML, head, meta. And if you're more interested in those kind of things, you can read about them in the book. You'll have them in your quiz. Here's the big kind of overview. The document type says we're using HTML5. I know there's no 5 in there, but that's the HTML5 document tag. The HTML element says to the browser, this is HTML content. The head element, it contains things like the title that you see on the tab. If you have tab browsing, or the title you see in the title bar. If you don't have tab browsing, you can have any number of meta elements. We're only going to be using the character set meta element, but search engine parameters can go in there. You can add scripts for JavaScript or any other kind of scripting language. You can put CSS in there. That's all in the head. When the head ends, the body starts. The body is what we see in the browser viewport. So in our situation, all we see is hello world, how are you doing here in the browser viewport, because that's all that is within the body. All right? The title that appears in the tab is up here in the head under the title. So when I say to you that you should name the page, I'm actually talking about the title. I'm trying not to give it away is what I'm doing. That's what I mean by naming the page. Okay? And if there was no tab browsing, it would just appear in the title bar. All right, so if we want more things to appear in the browser viewport, then we need to add more tagged content. So let's rock and roll on that.